Okay. Hello, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing very well. This is Noshin Mukhtar, and you are watching me in Stylfemina Talks. And this statement I love very much. So, in the comments, you can always say hi to us and tell us where you're joining us from. You can also leave a few comments about Stylfemina Talks. I would love to have your feedback. Today, we are going to welcome yet another wonderful lady who's done superbly well in the realm of technology. So, here is another top woman in technology, Priya M. Nair. Welcome to the show, Priya.
Thank you so much, Nausheen. Pleasure.
How are you and how is everything?
Very good, very good. Very excited about some amazing things happening with Zwag. Looking
Oh,
forward to it.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we are going to hear the whole story. You guys just wait up. I'm going to ask her all the secret questions one by one, and she's going to tell us a lot of things about her brand. So, Priya, how long have you been in Dubai? How did you start your journey as an entrepreneur? Why you decided to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I came to UAE in 2006. I got married in 2005 back in India, so followed my husband here in 2006. And I've been here ever since. So it's been quite a long relationship with the UAE. My first job here was with the UAE Air Force and Air Defense. I was with them for 4 years in IT. Then I moved on to an American engineering firm. I was there for 11 years. So now, when I left that company, my corporate life after 11 years, that was in 2021. I felt like I had hit a glass ceiling there because I was the regional lead for a bids team, and I grew over the past over the 11 years that I was there. I grew through various levels of management, and it was a very fulfilling journey. But I felt like, it's time to move on and do something of my own. I wanted to go out there, explore things. So I quit, and at that by that point, I had already published my first book, Formula G, which was about startups. During the year before that, in 2020, I had also been mentoring a few of startups, just kind of in relation to digital marketing basically, and strategy and growth, because my background has always been strategy and value engineering and things like that. So yeah, when I did all those mentoring, there was so much to learn as well as so much to share. So I ended up co-authoring this book called Formula G: How to Scale Your Startup to a Growth Machine into 2021. And I felt like, I needed to be out there and experience all of it myself. So I joined a B2B platform to learn, to experience firsthand what it would be like working for SME. And then last year, I came across, I knew what the next big idea was, and I wanted to uh, take it forward. And that was how Zwag was born. Um, yeah, I wouldn't say it was by chance that I became an entrepreneur, uh, but
It
sort
was
of.
intentional. Like the way you're telling me, it feels quite intentional. I became an entrepreneur by intention, and I am so proud of it.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. I think there's a bit of both intention, and then something clicks, and then you are like, okay,
Hmm.
it's time.
Hmm. Yes, something clicks and something tells you you have to
That's
go forward and do something different. That's
yes,
how we start. Yes,
that's
yes,
right.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Very interesting. So, there are two things that clicked with me when you were telling me about your journey as an entrepreneur and how you became one. First one is that you've always been about strategy making, which is excellent. So, when it comes to strategies, especially for business growth, um, what factors count, Priya, in your view?
When it comes to strategy, of course, understanding, your industry, your competition, what can be and what should be. All of that plays a very important role. But to me, I found that making a strategy is not that difficult, because if you have a vision, you set up a vision, and then you know what you want out of it, where you want to head, and what you want to make. Strategy is the easy part, I would say. Execution is the most difficult part, isn't it? So
Hmm.
yeah, so I would say coming up with the right vision, having the right knowledge of your market, of your
Right.
industry, of your audience. Everything plays a very important role in coming up with the right strategy. You always have to look at the big picture, always factor in what could go wrong, and also plan for those contingencies as well.
Right, right. Very well said. Startups.
Yeah.
how a startup's strategy need to be compiled? Like, what should entrepreneurs keep in mind when they're working on a good strategy for their startup? Since you've mentored so many of them, we need to hear it from you.
Well, I love this book by Pankaj Goyal, who says, before you start up, So for everybody that I've mentored, I always ask them to start there. That is the first book probably that you have to read even before taking that decision, whether to quit your corporate job. And of course, like what Simon Sinek says, always ask why. Why is very important. And these are some of the important questions that I ask. Why do you want to really be into business? Because all that contributes to coming up with deciding what business you want to be in. And then it really starts from there, with regards to startups. And it's very important to know when to stop also. So when I talk to startups about their strategy, I always tell them, you know, always understand when it's time to let go and start. It's okay. You spend 1 year in research and everything, and now you look back and understand that okay, this is not working the way I think it should work, or this probably is not the right strategy or the right path forward. And then you look back and say, I've spent so much time, I've wasted so much time. But I would rather say, make a decision then and there. If you have to pivot, you just do that. Don't cling on to a specific idea just because you've spent so much time. You would rather make that decision at this point now rather than go down the path further a year or two and burn your fingers, and then you probably lose the will to do anything at all after that. So yeah, I always advise them to make the right decision uh, before actually taking the plunge, and definitely ask why. Why you're doing this. Is it all for the right reasons? And everything else will fall in place.
Yes, purpose is at the root of everything. If an entrepreneur is not conscious of the entire objective and the purpose of why their business exists, it's going to be difficult to
Yeah.
take it forward to growth. And your first 2 years are going to be a disaster. Anyways,
Ah,
so coming to Zwag, I
mhm.
want to know more about this. How you chose the name, and what was the
Right.
business idea in the beginning? How it evolved into its present form?
Very interesting question. I get a lot of attention for the name, the swag. It is swag, SWAG with a Z, mainly because our initial target audience are the Gen Zers, and they've got a lot of swag, and swag has a lot of swag to offer them as well. So that's very simple, and I wanted a very simple and short name, like a four-letter word. So that's one of the reasons that we came up with swag, but also because I wanted swag. I want a name that could be used as a verb, like you say, Google it, like they say, Google it. I want people to start using saying that, you've got swag. Swag it to me, swag it, and don't search it, just swag it. That kind of a thing. So I wanted that as well. But largely it was driven by the target audience, the Gen Zers. And a name that would click with them. So that is how the name came into being. With regards to the idea, definitely when I was working in the e-commerce B2B company, we were looking at the gaps in the e-commerce, because e-commerce has become such a competitive space now. There are so many that enter every day, and then there are so many that have to exit every day as
True.
well. That
Yes.
very competitive. So we were looking at, if we have to, while building the strategy for that business, we were looking at what's the market gap, how do we want to take this company forward, and then we looked at what are the emerging consumer segments that we have to, if we are going to look at long term, 5-10 years. And then, the next big consumer block out there are the Gen Zers. So we wanted to do something for the Gen Zers. But then, things didn't work out at that company. But but I kind of held on to that idea that if I'm doing something, I would definitely do something for that young crowd, Gen Zers and young millennials. And I had a Gen Zer at home as well, so I knew exactly what their hopes and aspirations would be. And yeah, so when I looked at what could I create for Gen Zers that would be meaningful, I didn't want to create another e-commerce platform or app that would sit on their mobile and kind of make them spend. uh, I didn't want to do that. And I sat with this idea for quite some time. And then finally, I realized that, even for me, getting the right information. We're all living very fast-paced life. There's so much information out there. You search something on Google or any search engine, there's so much information to process, and you have very little time, especially for the Gen Zers and the young millennials. The attention span is very less, right? They want immediate results. They want quick delivery. They want quick solutions. So I was like, why can't we kind of shorten the entire process of the right from the point you search to review to that decision making to finally going onto the merchant platform, merchant side, and making that purchase or decision, whatever it is, your next job, your next vacation, your next hangout place, what to wear, where to eat, and all these things. So basically, it was a combination of me being lazy and not wanting to spend so much time searching for things, and also wanting to cater to the Gen Zers. And that's how this whole concept of let's shorten the journey of from the point of search to the point of purchase. And then I sort of looked at what technology will help us with that, to make things more automated, make things more efficient, quick, and also something that didn't feel like you were talking to a basically I wanted to build a virtual assistant, kind of a chatbot, but that didn't really look or talk or feel like talking to a chatbot. And with the NLP and the ML being such in an advanced stage, and uh, conversationally I was going to be the answer and how we could do it better. And that's how the whole
Mhm.
idea of WAG and how we got to use came to conversational AI, uh, to
Good.
being used as a technology. And we weren't wrong, right? We started thinking about this in July, August. We activated our brand in October, and come October, November, you have the whole chat GPT buzz coming up. So we were thinking in the right direction, absolutely.
Yes, yes, I must say that for sure. So, how different is Zwag from, let's say, a normal search engine? Because what you have here is more like a search engine for e-commerce, where you look for things that you want to shop for. So,
Yeah.
and my second part of the question, what kind of brands we can find through Zwag?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that Zwag is a search engine per se. We are more like, let's say, more like WhatsApp. It's a social messaging app, but with inbuilt search functionality. Now, when I tell people that it's something that looks like WhatsApp but would function like Google, before the Chat GPT buzz came and people were not able to understand, but now they expect that it would be like a chat gpt in through WhatsApp. But that's not what Zwag does. We are very clear about our niche and what we are trying to do. What is basically done is that it's a very familiar interface, just like WhatsApp. You can create uh, groups with your friends and family. You can also have individual chats, but there are inbuilt chatbots which we call zenies, right? Just like a genie, what does a genie do? It asks you questions and goes around the world and brings you exactly what you want. Just like that, a zenie will ask you what you want, and it will crawl the world wide web and bring you exactly what you want. So what happens is, if you go to Google and search for something, say for example, where do I get the best Thai food, or whatever, Google will give you first a set of sponsored ads. Then there'll be a lot of links. There'll be page 1, page 2, page 12, and you're left to kind of wondering, now what do I do right now? I have to click through all of these. I need to understand, read through the reviews, and if I like something, I'll copy that link and take to WhatsApp groups or Instagram or Telegram, wherever I am and my friends are. And then you start discussing, hey, have you been there? Have you tried this? Is it good? Would you want to go? Let's plan. Is it today or is it going to be tomorrow? And the whole thing, a decision is never made. It always ends up like being that Goa trip we all plan to go on. So basically, Zini comes. That's where Zini comes to the picture. So if you're looking for say, for example, to go out for a movie tonight, and then you have all your gang coming in, you can create a chat group, and then you summon the filmy Zini. There are a number of Zinis, characters, very quirky, very funny, nothing like other chat bots, where you can ask questions, and the you summon the filmy Zini and ask for the genre. Uh, Rather, the Zini will ask you, what do you want? Action, comedy, romance? What do you want? And then based on that, it will bring the trailer and the review, all of it, into that window, that chat window itself. So you're not going to IMDb, you're not going to YouTube to watch the trailers. And then you can ask the Cine for review as well. So the Cine will fetch the review from authentic sources and tell you, this is what people are talking about, this is how it is. And then finally, there are options like poll and survey, so that you can all come to a consensus on which theater to go to or what time that you're going to. And then the zini brings links, the top two links or maximum three links. And this is the case with whatever, not just movies. If you're purchasing a laptop or a mobile or a dress or a suit or whatever, zini at a time will
Mm.
only bring you top three links, right? So there is
Right.
no confusion there. Now, what kind of brands? Basically, whatever you shop for online, and also for experiences. So it's not about just shopping. Shopping, of course, all the categories: e-commerce, electronics, cosmetics, fashion,
Mm.
accessories, everything is there. But there is also like experiences. Hotels, restaurants, even food delivery. Uh, as,
Mm.
you can search for food and order through the app as well. Because our target audiences are the Gen Zers and young millennials, and for them, higher studies and jobs and internships are also key. We have zines that also cater to jobs and internships as well, and higher education as well.
This is very, very exciting, actually. Not interesting, just like you just say it and it's brought to you. That's how it is. And then you can converse with your friends. You have a group where you can share. And oh my
Right.
goodness.
Yeah, it's like you have the best of search and messaging and a
Hmm.
bit of peer review and all that fun, everything in one app. You don't really have to leave. We're looking at, are people open to wanting voice calls and video calls in the app?
Okay.
And are
They
they
might
want,
want that. Yeah.
yeah,
Since
are
it's
they,
a group activity, it
yes,
might have that kind of interaction and demand
or
also.
or do they even want peer-to-peer money transfers? Because there are a lot of people just go and maybe eat a pizza together, whatever, go out together, and then one person pays and foots the bill, and then they want to kind of share the expenses. So if you can do that through the app, there's nothing like that, right? So that would all require a bit of legal and regulations and
Hmm.
compliance aspect of it.
Yes.
So initially, we're just taking it slow. We're just giving them the most essential features and starting there and see uh, what people love and
Very nice.
how you take it from there. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now I'm thinking this lady can think of wonders.
Well, yeah. And think about it, I'm not really from a technical background per se. My
Hmm.
education has been in economics. I've done mass communication and journalism, but then my first job was with the Indian IT company Tata Consultancy Services as a technical
Right.
writer. And even with the Air Force and the IT department also. Looking back, I look at it as, I've always throughout my career taken complex technical data and broken down into simpler ways, and so that non-technical people can understand. And if you look at it, sort of swag is about that, right? Simplifying
It
data,
is.
too much of
Yes. Yes.
data, and kind of making it easy for people to access and make decisions. So it's about giving hyper personalized, readily actionable recommendations, uh,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
can uh, take quick decisions. Yeah.
You're facilitating decision making, choice making, actually.
Start making, yeah,
So
yeah.
people can pick and choose what they like best.
Absolutely. With a bit of
Hmm.
assistance from the zini. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, a very smart system and a very interesting project. I must congratulate you. It's beautiful.
So
And
much.
I wish you achieve more and more success with this. It's
Thank you
amazing.
so much, Nausheen.
When
Thank
you
you.
were writing Formula G, were you thinking about swag? That you're going to conceive something of this kind and you're going to build it?
Well, I knew that eventually that is something that I want to do. I want to create something that was big, had
Mhm.
a big impact. We all dream about retiring early and and also giving back to the society and things like that. I knew I
Mhm.
would do something, but no, zwag. I didn't know that it would be zwag. But once I
Right.
did, once I knew that this is what I wanted to do, I knew that
Mhm.
I had stumbled upon on my next big idea.
Yes,
Um,
I can see that. So, are you open to attracting partners in the project? Because this looks like something that has huge potential and it can speak to a lot of investors. So, are
yes,
you looking at that these days?
yes. So I've been bootstrapping it for over like almost a
Mhm.
year or less. I would say I've been bootstrapping it to do the market research and to do a bit of marketing and
Right.
get people onto the waiters and things like that. So from that perspective, yes, I'm looking for investors. I've had some interest from lovely, wonderful angel investors as well. The discussion is going on, but in the past 2 weeks or a month after the chat GPT came out, the interest in Zwag and what it can do has kind of quadrupled, I would say, I think that's
Amazing.
not just the case of Zwag, but a lot of AI companies and startups are inviting a lot of attention. So
Mhm.
it's the right time to do anything with AI. At the
I'm
same
sure
time,
of that.
a lot of competition, so you have to stay out. And I believe that we have the idea that can go big and has the
Yes.
potential. Yes, we are looking also for strategic partners because we need to get into strategic partnership with agencies that can connect us with these brands, right? Because our revenue model is based on affiliate commission and advertising revenues as well. So yes, we are looking for that kind of strategic partnership with agencies, marketing agencies, and brands, retail brands that specifically speak to this market segment, that is the Gen Zers and the young millennials. But then
Hmm.
when I say this, a lot of people say that why are you restricting the app to just the young crowd? Open it to anybody and everybody, and that's what we are doing now. So when I say Gen Z and
Open it
millennials,
to all, yes.
we don't really want anybody to think that, oh, that's for the young crowd, the cool crowd, and we can't use it. No, if you
Mm.
use WhatsApp, if you shop anything online, then you can do it. You can
I'm
use it.
going to say a generalization so the audience can differ with me, but apps is something that stays open to everybody, right? And everybody can actually make use of it. So I'm sure Zwag will appeal to different age groups apart
Yeah,
from just the Generation Z. And
definitely.
it's going to make big on the market, of course, because the
Yeah.
potential is humongous. Yes, for sure. So moving forward, what is your next 5 year plan, Priya? What are
Oh,
the big things that you are planning to do with this? And of course, more.
well, with Zwag, definitely we are seeing well, the projections is that we will definitely move towards being a unicorn, and I'm hoping that it will. And we are out here to stay for the long run, obviously. Uh, so initially, the launch market that we're looking at is only UAE. So by the next year, we're looking at expanding to the other GCC countries, and then move on to Egypt, Europe, and then take over the world in the next 5 years, basically. I think
Great. This is
I'm
great.
thinking I'm thinking that maybe it will not take 5 years because these things can just
It'll go faster than that.
yeah, it can just blow up, like WhatsApp became a hit, and then when there were restrictions on WhatsApp, people switched to Signal for some time. That was the buzz. And if you remember the Clubhouse when it came on, they saw a surge in the users overnight and over a week. So this has that potential only if we are able to kind of show people exactly what this is and how this
Hmm.
is different from other chat
Yes. Yes.
and
So
Zini has got a lot of personality, and I'm sure people will love it. People will just come for the sake of interaction with the Zini because it's very quirky. It's very
I'm
funny.
sure of
I've put a bit of my alter ego into it. So if you ask
it.
something, it's going to be
Right.
funny and very, very interesting interaction. So we're really looking forward
Yes.
to it. Yeah.
I'm sure you are giving it a lot of creative touches. Like you
Yes.
said, that there are different kinds of bots that you can speak to. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it's going to attract the world very, very powerful ways.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going to grow over time for sure. Um, you're a woman entrepreneur, Priya, and you're a woman with a new idea, a
Mhm.
relatively new idea,
Mhm.
something different.
Yeah.
And when we're doing something different, which is coming up perhaps for the first time, we get a lot of discouragement and criticism, isn't it? And it stands true for all the young people as well, because
Yeah.
a lot of the people around us will come up and say, "Oh, you're too young to do. It's not going to work. What you're saying is just, it might not. You're just dreaming." So, how did you handle such kind of a response from around you?
I get that a lot even now. One, because I am building uh, a conversational AI business, a startup, and being a per se not a technical, not having a technical background. People question, how did you really come up with this idea, and how are you going to pull this without having a kind of a technical co-founder? How did you push it so far, and so on and so forth. So I do get that a lot. And also because I find it uh, difficult to raise money. I do when I pitch my idea to people, they don't see it as a tech idea or a tech founder. They do see it coming from a woman tech founder, and that's difficult to navigate. But then I always kind of never get discouraged, because 4 decades that I've been on this world, on this earth, we go through that kind of discrimination and that kind of uh, challenging environments every day, day in and day out. And this is not my first outing with people doubting my capability. At every stage of my career, of my life, people have doubted me just and judge me just because of my gender. And that's something that I feel it's not just me. A lot of people out there definitely have faced, women out there and throughout the world have faced that.
Hmm.
um, so
Yes.
I, in the past 1 year, I have been able to learn a lot, in the sense that when there is a criticism, when somebody says that this is not going to work, I don't take it personally. I don't think that okay, it's because I am a woman that this is happening. I try to understand, I try to ask them more questions, in the sense that what is it that you're not comfortable with. I'm not going in with an assumption that because I'm a woman that they are comfortable with investing or understanding, and that's why they think this is not working. No, I ask questions, and I let them say, if that is the case, then say it clearly and make it clear, and you take a stand so that I can take a stand as well, which obviously would be that I don't want to work with you if you see that as a barrier. uh,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
yeah, it's very challenging, not just for me, but I think I come from a very privileged
Yes.
position.
I've been in this space, Priya,
Yeah,
where I've been consulting with a few startups while they were raising funds for their business. And I know it has become cliche, and everybody has been saying it like this, that women-owned startups are the least likely to get investments from the investors and blah blah blah. But I feel it's not gender politicized. It's the intention of the investors. They might have n number of their own reasons for saying yes or no to somebody. It's
yeah,
definitely not based on gender
yeah.
differences.
But I have also seen that sometimes I do sit back and think, I talk about zwag to people, and they say, "Oh, that's a brilliant idea. It's got great potential." And I sometimes feel that if idea came from a man, probably, this would have already been funded. Uh, you know,
I will say this now. It's time.
I just think,
Do they ask you that is your husband helping you in your business?
oh my god, well, not just now. This
Yes,
is very funny. Not just now.
it's always been there.
I've been living in this beautiful house, a beautiful apartment for like 5 or 6 years or
Mm,
something, and we don't own it. Honestly, we don't own it. But when I tell people, colleagues or whoever I meet, that we are living here in this place, in this part of the island, and in this apartment, the first thing that the question that they ask me is, "Where does your husband work, by the way?" So, and they
I
and
know.
and they see the car that I'm driving. Always the first question is like, "Where does your husband work, by the way?" So
Seriously.
definitely get that a lot. And when I
Mm.
over the past 1 year, when I was bootstrapping, also a lot of people ask me this question. So, you know, what does your husband do? Is he working? Where does he work? And does he contribute and all those things?
Yes.
But
So,
yeah,
all the husbands who are listening to us, we will say thank you very much for supporting your wives. But at the same time, when you go to work and you're meeting more business people, do they say, "What is your wife doing these days?" Or
absolutely.
is it because of your wife?
Yeah, yeah. Same reason why on the panel I also said that I refuse to put mompreneur on my LinkedIn
Oh,
bio, because
yeah.
as long as
Seriously.
dads are not saying dadpreneurs, I'm not going to put up mompreneur.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Is there a message that you would like to share with our audience today, Priya?
Well, definitely, because in the beginning I said that we're all very excited. I'm very excited about what's coming for Zwag in the next few weeks, and that's because we are doing the alpha launch, the soft launch of Zwag and Zini on our website, and around Valentine's Day. So we are looking at February 12th for the soft launch. Why Valentine's Day? Because apparently that's the time that most of the people have to make the most difficult decisions of their life, where to go
Yes.
to gift him, where what to do,
Hmm.
things like that. So we're trying to help them, give them a bit of a help that during that period. And then a month later, we are looking at launching our beta on iOS and
Hmm.
Meta. And we're already
Great.
building app waitlist. There are close to 500 people already registered in the app waitlist. So if you go to www.zwag.ai, you'll find the join waitlist. And I encourage people to kind of, join the waitlist. So you'll be the first ones to know when the zini is out of the bottle, and you can start interacting with it. And I'm sure you'll love it. So that's my,
Fantastic. Yes. We are waiting for the boom to come.
yeah, I'm
The
so
big
excited
launch event.
for you guys
Yes,
to experience zini, and
for
see how it
sure.
goes. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Priya, for today. I really enjoyed our conversation,
Me
and I
too.
wish you a lot of luck and a lot of success with this project. And I
Thank
also wish you more similar, maybe even better projects in future.
Yeah, I hope to make this a success and invest in a lot of female businesses so that they don't have to go through exactly what I went through. So
Super. Yes, yes. All the best. We are always by your side, and you will always find us beside you. Thank
thank
you
you so
so
much.
much. Have a good day.
Thank you.